It's the moment we've all been waiting for, the college football championship game. Pretty exciting. I'm actually pretty excited that we got down to these two teams. I mean, I know y'all had teams in the playoffs, so I'm talking for most just general college football fans. Obviously, as fans of two playoff teams, y'all probably aren't as excited about this matchup, but I am excited.
I didn't realize there was that much excitement about Notre Dame. I felt like after that Northern Illinois game, for a lot of people, there was nothing they could do to kind of justify even being in the playoff. But maybe that's just nerds talking and not the people of the streets.
I think it is, man. I think most general football fans and the general public, you love to see Notre Dame in there because you either like to cheer for them or against them, and that's why it's good for them to be in there. It has nothing to do with any kind of analytics whatsoever. It's literally just Notre Dame. We've all seen Rudy. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, it's a massive fan base. So
I feel like we actually have two of the most hated teams in college football playing each other right now.
Really? Yeah, I think
so.
honestly, Mike, my only counter argument to that is I think the majority of general college football fans are just happy that the SEC can't win a championship.
I mean, that's probably fair. And it's probably why I'm bitter against the fact that they're not. So
Exactly.
Second year in a row, too.
Yep. Yep. So, all right, let's dive right into this. We only have one game to talk about. So what else are we going to do except get into this one game? Mike, why don't you kick us off with your first pick?
Yeah, man, I'm taking a little parlay action and going Notre Dame plus 16.5 with Ohio State on the money line. Ultimately, what I'm saying here is I think this is going to be a good game and Ohio State's the better team. I think Notre Dame, frankly, as much as I have hated on Notre Dame for the last 25 years, I do think that Notre Dame is actually a good football team this time around. And we kind of saw that a bit in the last two games of the playoffs. But specifically just, coaching on that team right now is out of this world. So I like them to show up here. They do tend to play a lot of man coverage. I wonder what that's going to look like against Jeremiah Smith. I know they've already come out and said, hey, we're going to have to mix things up. We can't do that against this team. So we don't really know what their zone coverage really looks like from a defensive standpoint. Overall, you've got the number one defense in the nation versus the number two defense in the nation. So I think this could be a really low scoring game in general. Ohio State struggled. They put up, 21 points against Penn State in week, whatever that was. And I think Notre Dame defensively is very similar to Penn State. We talked a bit about that last week when they played each other. So I just like this to be a close game. But I still like Ohio State to win because I think they are the more talented team on offense. So Notre Dame plus 16.5, Ohio State on the money line.
Yeah, I struggled with what to find here because I do like Ohio State to win so much. I think Steve has some idea on the spread. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Ohio State team total over 27.5. This is not the best defense that Ohio State has played. That would have been Texas. When it comes to the stats, I also think Notre Dame's defense for the season is a little inflated based on strength of schedule and their ability to hold lesser teams down. I also see that Penn State scored 24 points on Notre Dame. You can't tell me that Ohio State is going to score at least 10 more points than that Penn State offense on this Notre Dame team. So this is my favorite bet. Ohio State team total over 27.5, minus 115. Chip Kelly is a running that high octane offense. I think maybe it stays low scoring in the first half, but then it just opens up kind of like how my total got screwed over last weekend in the second half. I think this really opens up and Ohio State clears this number. Stefan,
I'm going to fight you on saying that Notre Dame is a worse defense than Texas. I think
statistically they are.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Points per game, no, but look at the like as far as like yards allowed. And
only rush yards per game. They beat him in pass yards. I just think that Texas had the softest schedule possible in the SEC this year, and that they were inflated. And because I am a Georgia fan and I don't like Texas, so yeah, go Notre Dame's defense.
That's fair. You can take that, but then if you go look at Notre Dame's schedule, you can't tell me. I believe the term softer than puppy shit is the term I would use to describe Notre Dame's season schedule.
And it's, dude, and that's why I hate Notre Dame so much, because it's the same story every freaking year, but then they whine and complain because they're not in the playoffs. And it's like, dude, just please shut up and move on and do something different next year.
Get into a real conference, guys. Get into a real conference.
They got to make the money.
Yep. All right, Steph, why don't you kick us off with, you have a few picks for us. Why don't you walk us through those?
Yeah, I conveniently just grabbed 3 player props that I liked. For those, like, I can't bet player props in Colorado, but we can do underdog. If you want to be a sponsor, you can reach out. So I grabbed these 3 so that you can maybe put those together in that. But just like looking at this game in general and looking at the national championship, I was listening to Josh Pate's show today, and he was talking about how the average margin of victory in the national championship game in like the last 12 years is 20 plus points.
Yeah, it's not fun usually.
It's
insane.
Really
not a good game usually.
It's insane.
So if you think you have a lean and you think that a team is significantly better than the other, the fact that it's a national championship game shouldn't be the only reason that you don't play it. So give me Ohio State -8. You can get that at a couple spots still. And I just think they are a much more complete team. The fact that their defensive line has been playing so incredibly well as of late. And now you've got, I mean, I know it's been talked about to death, but you've got the injuries along Notre Dame's offensive line. They might have to be switching things up. You've got a quarterback who, let's be honest, Riley Leonard's not a great passer. I think I was listening to someone, I think it was Chip Patterson was talking about how he's a great college quarterback, not necessarily a great like future NFL quarterback. And it's unfair to him to judge him for what he may or may not be in the NFL. Let's be honest, Leonard's been really good at the college level, especially this season. But this defense is something he has not had to face yet. And I think he's going to be in a world of hurt, which is why I also am playing the Riley Leonard under 37 rush yards. He has not hit this in a while. And so I like this. Again, sack yards count against you. Ohio State has been like getting like 6, like they've got 6 sacks in the last 2 games, something crazy. If Ohio State gets up big, I could see there being a lot of sacks in this game, because they don't want to play a catch-up style of football. I'm also going to throw Faison over 39 receiving yards. He is, for all intents and purposes, their main wide receiver, which isn't necessarily a big deal on Notre Dame, but it's such a low number, 39 receiving yards. He could get that in 2 receptions. And then I also like Jeremiah Smith, an anytime touchdown at -125. Mike, you talked about how much man coverage Notre Dame likes to play. They play more man coverage than anyone else that was in the playoff. And I think Jeremiah Smith will be able to break loose. You can also get him longest reception over 29 yards. His total for the game is 80.5 receiving yards. I like all of those, but I'm going to play at -125 for an anytime touchdown. And yeah, I think Ohio State ends up winning it all. I'm honestly not playing it very heavily. I have so much invested in Ohio State futures. I played them a couple weeks ago to win the Natty. And so I'm just going to see if it plays out. And I'm not going to hedge at all because I'm pretty confident that Ohio State takes care of business. But if Notre Dame wins, I'm going to be so angry because I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like Ohio State. And if I lose money because Ohio State just can't finish the job, I just don't feel like Notre Dame's like, if you lose to Northern Illinois, you have no business being a national championship. If Texas would have won the national championship after losing to Georgia twice, Texas is like, to me, not the national champion. Georgia is, like I just hate it. I hate it.
Well, that's why we have a playoff. All right. Well, those are our picks for the game. I just moved Ohio State to cover spread on my personal betting sheet. I'm going to make that one of my bets as well with my team total. You've made it to the end. We're just going to run these down quick. It was a quick episode. Just go listen to the whole thing. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials, also, especially on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, and anywhere that you get your podcasts. Go check out the NFL playoff episode. Mike, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I've got the one play of Notre Dame plus 16.5 with Ohio State on the money line at minus 105.
Yeah, I also have Ohio State team total over 27.5. Very pro Ohio State bets on this episode. Steve.
I'm going to continue with that. I'm going to go Ohio State to cover -8. We've got 3 player props for you. We're going to go Riley Leonard under 37 rush yards, Jeremiah Smith an anytime touchdown, and Faison to get over 39 receiving yards.
That is it, everyone. Go bet a bunch of money on Ohio State, apparently. Go check out our NFL picks. We'll talk to y'all later, and college football will be over. This is it till next fall.
Oh, that's so sad.
Shut up.
Y'all hate that I call it out. All right, we will see everyone later.